Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is my review for a new web series called Love, Sex, and Marriage. I think it actually came out in January, but yes, this this web series was really good, and I'm actually honored to review this show because I was really blown away by it. And it's actually a web series that's created by Trey Floyd. Also subscribe to his YouTube channel. I will have that link in the description box. But yes, let me get started by talking about this show because this show is really good and the cast is phenomenal. So let me begin. The first episode is called Cheers and the second episode is called Mosey, Wosey. So I'm going to be talking about both of those episodes in this review. Well, the first episode we actually meet the couple, Ken. Ken is actually played by Thigpen-Holland, and Darren, his boyfriend. Darren is actually played by Phil Carter. Now, the two of them have been together for a year. We actually see that they definitely have great chemistry with each other, and from the looks of it, they're like the perfect couple, And we see that not only do you have, Ken and not only do you have Ken and Darren, you also have Ken's friends who are part of the circle as well. And Ken, has friends, and they all are different from each other. Because we see the first friend we get introduced to is Terrell. Terrell is a fitness trainer. The baby is a mandingo. And definitely he's a free spirit, or in other words, a hoe. But Terrell, when we actually see, because thing is, they're planning this 1-year anniversary party, and Ken wants to go all out because it's their first year. But he loves Darren, so no expense is important to him. So he's going all out, and he was calling Terrell to ask did he get the flowers and stuff for the event. Terrell is banging out some random trick, but we can definitely tell that Ken and Terrell have a connection, because why is it that, when you're having sex with somebody, the last thing I'm going to do is pick up the phone and talk to anybody. So the fact that he will pick up the phone and talk to Ken while he's fucking some guy, which pretty much means that the guy doesn't even fucking matter. He's just a body. He gives no fucks. So he's like, even though I'm fucking you, I don't give a damn about you, so I'm going to talk to my boy while I'm banging you out. And then, they kind of go back and forth, throwing jabs at each other. He's calling Ken a fat ass, and he's calling Terrell a hoe, and you probably don't even know the boy's name. And he didn't know the boy's name because he had to ask him what his name was. So Terrell is a mess. But we definitely see that going on, in the beginning of the episode. Then we also see that we actually meet Vontae, and Vontae is played by Wendell Holmes. Vontae is one of Ken's friends, along with Terrell, and both of them, I think Terrell and Vontae, he met when he was in college. And we know that Ken's very successful as well because, Ken got an open tab at Vontae's restaurant. And Vontae is very successful. He's an entrepreneur. He has his own restaurant. When we see Ken first get there, he actually talks to Ashley, the hostess, and Ashley is played by Tanisha Foster, and she is hilarious. She is the hostess with the mostest. That's how I would define Ashley, because Ashley don't do her damn job. We see her take a call from a customer asking about, seating and, all of that, and she just kind of blows him off and hangs the phone up on his ass. And he's like, bitch, you gonna get fired. What the hell's wrong with you? She's like, Vontae fired me every day, and yet he hired me right back. So, I don't care. But then she also be flirting with the boys, too. She's like, hey, I know y'all gay, but if y'all want to get a sister, holler at your girl. I was like, I got so much life from Ashley's character. So he pretty much has a meeting at Vontae's restaurant to talk about, the plans, because Vontae's supposed to be doing the catering and the food. And, while they're talking, he's pretty much talking about, Vontae pretty much is very, I would consider Vontae, he's very, he holds himself to high esteem. He's a business person. He's got it together, but he doesn't have a love life. And he's definitely about his success and his prosperity. And we see in this conversation that, you know, he really, I mean, he's cool with the, because he mentions Terrell and another friend who I'm going to mention, Andre. He was saying, because he's kind of having a conversation with Ken, and was telling Ken, like, you really need to, you know, let, you know, Terrell and Andre go. And he was like, and then Ken was like, I will never get rid of Andre. I've been friends with Andre since we were kids. And he was like, yes, but sometimes you just outgrow people. And that's when we finally, you know, see Terrell shows up, and Terrell and Vontae be going back and forth too. And we also meet Andre, and Vontae can't stand Andre, and he's just forever taking jabs at Andre and shit. Well, we actually meet Andre, which is another friend. Andre pretty much is a dancer, and he definitely has dreams and aspirations of dancing professionally, but currently he's he's pretty much in a hard place, and I'm going to explain it in a minute. But he's kind of in a hard place right now with his career and his life, and right now he's kind of keeping that hidden. But we can kind of see that every time we see Andre's definitely got some, you know, he's definitely got some issues there. And I think within this season, that's going to be explored. But we can definitely tell out of the friends, Andre, I think, is the most insecure, or the most or the most troubled out of the group. So we actually meet all the four friends. Then we get a scene where Darren and Ken get into an argument. And it's an argument that was started by Darren, and it's about finances. He's pretty much saying that Ken lives beyond his means. He's always spending money, and how are we going to be successful, and how are we going to be a couple if you're just spending money crazy? You're spending all this money on this anniversary party. It's ridiculous, and blah, blah, blah. So they go back and forth, and then Ken was like, look, don't take it out on me that I'm successful and I'm making it. You know, what kind of shit is that? And then Darren's like, oh, so you kind of throwing away that you make more money than me? So we kind of see like this alpha male thing going on in the relationship. And this happens in a lot of gay relationships where you got two alpha males and one wants to be better than the other, so they're constantly at each other's necks. So they kind of get into it, and then Darren's like, you know, I need to get away. I need to be to myself. So he ups and leaves. Then we see him come back, and it's like nighttime. So I'm already kind of sketchy, like, okay, where the hell did you go, nigga, that you needed? Because when y'all had that argument, it was daytime. You know, when you came back, Ken was laid up in his silk red bathrobe, ready to go night-night. And then that's when Darren comes back, and then, like, you know, of course, Ken is, like, worried, like, you know, are you still mad at me? And he's like, does it matter? Hell yeah, I'm mad, nigga! You just fucking got mad at me and left, and I ain't seen your ass in hours, and then all of a sudden you come back at nighttime. Obviously, you took a long damn time to come back to resolve shit, so hell yeah, I'm gonna ask, are you still mad? And you gonna ask, does it matter? Like, so I'm already seeing Darren in a different light. But then Darren kind of sits down and he talks to him, and he's like, look, you know, I'm just saying we just need to be more financially responsible. If we're going to get married one day and build a family, we're going to have to learn to manage our finances. But it's making me question, why is this such an important thing to him? What is your end game? What's going on, Darren? Inquiring minds would like to know. All right, so they pretty much, after this whole situation, he decides that, okay, he's not going to have the party. He kind of tells his crew that, you know, we're not going to do the party. Me and Darren are just going to spend, you know, an evening alone, you know, with each other on our anniversary. So we see that, you know, they've ordered pizza, they got wine, and they got Netflix. And they're just cozying up and everything. And then all of a sudden, you get a knock on the door. Darren invited all the friends over for their anniversary. So pretty much Vontae's like, yeah, you lucky I saved some of this damn food since we weren't going to use it. I'm glad we actually, so he's like, I'm glad we finally have a reason to eat the food now. So all of them show up, even Ashley comes. Vontae, Terrell, and Andre, they all show up, to celebrate their anniversary. And it was a good gesture, but I'm like, okay, so what the hell is going on here? Because my hypothesis on where I'm sitting, I just think Darren just wanted to have control over the situation because obviously he ain't got the long kind of money that Ken has. So when Ken decided that he wasn't going to do it, Darren invites everybody over because, Darren wants to obviously control the situation. And that's what I'm thinking, but I could be wrong. But that's what I got. Like, okay, I'm going to lower it down, but then now I'm going to bring everybody in. Like, you could have just had the damn party if that was going to be the issue. I'm just saying. So was the issue really finances, or is it really being the alpha male and being in control? So that's a question. So we see all of them, get together, they partying, having a good time. Then we get a scene in the kitchen. Andre is there drinking, and we definitely know Andre has got some stuff. But then we see Darren come in there, and he starts, asking questions. So, hey, Andre, what's been going on? What you been up to? And Andre's like, everything's good, man. I got this audition coming up with Usher soon. I'm dancing and I'm doing what I do. And then all of a sudden Dan was like, yeah, I've been hearing you be dancing around town. He was like, yeah, I be dancing, making my money doing what I do. But then he was like, nah, but that ain't all I heard. My boy told me, he saw you go in the room with one of those dudes, with one of these guys, and you kind of like whacked the guy off with some money. So all of a sudden, we now realize that Andre is escorting. He's not only dancing, but he's also escorting. And definitely the world of escorting can be a very dangerous world. And pretty much, Andre's like, are you going to tell Ken? He's like, should I tell Ken? And I'm like, oh, he's like, I'm just saying, you're too talented of a person to be doing this to yourself. I mean, you're talented and you're somewhat attractive. And I'm like looking at this nigga like, what the fuck are you doing? Your damn man is in the other fucking room and you pulling this shit with his best friend? I'm like, All I was saying, like, Darren, seriously. And then he tells him like, okay, I'll make a deal with you. If you stop doing what you're doing, I won't say nothing to Ken. And then we see Ken comes in the middle, and we see obviously Andre shaking up because he doesn't want Ken to know about it. Because he told Darren that, look, Ken be acting like my daddy and shit, and I don't want Ken to be all up in my business. So he told me, hey, if you stop, I won't say nothing. So all of a sudden, Ken comes in the midst of it, and he's like, hey, so what's going on? He's like, oh, yeah, he was telling me about his new audition with Usher. Just completely fakes this shit out like nothing happened. And I'm just looking like, yo, I really got my eye on motherfucking Darren, because I'm like, yo, he's definitely on some bullshit. Yeah, he's definitely that people that we gotta watch. So, yeah, you gotta watch. Seriously, because I was just like, yo, you cruddy motherfucker. You gonna do this shit on your anniversary? You gonna come at him like that? Because we actually see that after they they all cheers, to they go back in the living room and they all, do their cheers, toasting to Darren and Ken's relationship. They all say something, and then Vontae was like, you guys are an inspiration to some of those who can't get a man. But, we definitely looking for that engagement next year. And then all of a sudden, Darren's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm like, whoa, 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 what, nigga? You've been with this man for a year. How long do you think you just going to continue to play house and not be his husband? What you got going on, Darren? Huh? Let me stop. But it really upsetted me because we see in this scene that Andre is crying and he's emotional because somebody knows his dark secret, and lo and behold, it's the boyfriend of his best friend, and he just gets put out there like that. So of course he's kind of emotional, and as I said, Andre is probably the most insecure and probably has the most deep-seated issues than the guys in the group, you know. So, and we definitely explore some of Andre's insecurity in the next episode, because I'm definitely gonna talk about that. But then, you know, he pretty much says, yeah, just cheers, just yeah, like, because he obviously feels embarrassed. So why the fuck would you do that at the 1 year anniversary when he's happy for his best friend and his relationship, and you gonna come to him with that bullshit? Oh yeah, you ain't sitting well with me, Darren, at all. No. So the next episode, Mosey Wosey, we get another situation where Ken and Terrell are talking, and there's a dude right there with Terrell, and they kind of going back and forth, and Ken is saying that him and Darren want to, you know, work out and want to get in shape, and he's saying like, man, you fat asses are full of it. Y'all probably wouldn't even last 5 minutes. He says that because he says, I'm going to work y'all, and y'all motherfuckers going to do some exercising if y'all want to work with me, because I ain't going to take it lightly on your ass. So he was like, okay, fine. Then all of a sudden he hangs up the phone. All of a sudden the dude that's with Terrell, his name is Dion. Now Dion is played by Alex Jonty, and for those of you who know about Alex, he actually was in Still River, and I actually loved his character, and he's really a good actor, and he's fine too. So we actually see that Dion kind of was like, yo, who the heck you was talking to on the phone, man? It seemed like it's one of your little blues or something. And he's like, and then like, of course, Terrell was like, first of all, your job is to only come up in here and smash and give up that ass. You know what I'm saying? Know your place and stay in it. And Dion was like, yo, I'm just saying, you do what you do, and I do what I do. But I'm just saying, there's something else going, I mean, from the sound of that conversation, it sounds more than friends to me. It's funny because I kind of clocked that too, because why is it that every time Terrell calls Ken, there's another guy in the room, and that other guy don't even fucking matter to Terrell, but he's all focused when he's talking to Ken. So, yeah, that's definitely something that wasn't an alarm to me, but of course, you know, Terrell was like, man, just shut up and get on your job, and pretty much they about to get it in again. So, we saw that happen. Then, we also see a scene with Vontae. We actually see that Andre comes to talk to Vontae because he's obviously battling some issues, especially after what happened at the party. You know, so he goes to meet up with Dante, you know, and him and Dante sit down and talk, and pretty much he's pretty much saying that, look, you know, they kind of, because even though Vontae can't stand Andre, he does care about him. So they sit down and they have a conversation, and Andre opens up to him about him escorting, but he's saying that, yeah, everything is cool. I mean, all of my customers have been good. For now, honey. For now. But pretty much Vontae kind of lets him know that, look, you know, you shouldn't be doing this to yourself. You know, why don't you get a job here, you know, or, you know, get a job somewhere, but you don't have to do this to yourself. You know, you're very talented, and you should definitely, you know, you shouldn't be putting yourself in danger like this. But then Andre says, well, I'm not as smart as the rest of y'all. Now, this is where I'm going to have to get on Andre's ass. You are you're just as smart as the rest of them. You're just not applying it. You're seeing a fast way to get to the top. But any real person knows there is no fast way to success. And there is no shortcuts. So, if he actually honed himself, he'll be just as successful as Vontae and Ken. He definitely has it. It's just that he doesn't have the right blueprint. You know, he's kind of caught up into the lifestyle. And, you know, I think a little bit more about Andre is going to be revealed. But when he said that shit, I was like, see, there you go. It's that low self-esteem that makes you a victim to predators. And we see that one predator that I think is going to come across his path is going to be Darren's ass. But, you know, we're probably going to see that, you know, develop throughout the rest of the season. But yeah, he's obviously got low self-esteem. He's obviously gullible, and because of that, you allow certain evils to take control. But it was good that he had that conversation with Vontae, because Vontae really does care about his well-being, and he was saying that, look, you need to apply yourself, and you need to make better decisions. So I thought that was a good scene. Then we see that Vontae finally has a date, because Vontae, I think, hasn't had any sexual encounters in some years, and he hasn't been on a date in a long time. But the thing about it is the guy he's on a date with, and the person he's on a date with is that motherfucking Dion. Another one that we gotta watch. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because Dante obviously is messing with Terrell, but he's playing the role that he's this good guy who wants a relationship that's not about sleeping around and all of that. So he's playing the perfect role for Vontae, and Vontae's liking him. Even when they go to hug and everything, he says, Vontae's like, not on the first night. So Vontae holds himself to high esteem, and he's not going to be, you know, he's just not going to open his cheeks for any nigga. And I respect that about Vontae. But some would say that his standards are too high. But, you know, we really see that he's really liking this guy Dion. But then, while they're talking, you know, Vontae tells him about his career, and he also talks about his friends. He talks about Ken. He talks about Andre, and then he starts to talk about Terrell. And then all of a sudden Dion's like, what is it about this Terrell? Like, tell me a little bit more about him. He's like, well, he's a fitness trainer, and he's this and he's that. And we see in that damn scene, Dion knows the Terrell he's talking about. He knows. But yet, you're playing a different role for Vontae, but yet you slutting around with one of his friends, Terrell. So I'm like, yeah, Dante's another one that we're going to have to watch. Because I'm already seeing that, yeah, there's some shit with him too. And I'm like, wow. So then we see later on, the guys get together at Ken's house. Darren is there as well. They're all sitting down talking, and Vontae is talking about this new guy he's talking to. Mentions Dion's name, but it goes over Terrell's head because Terrell don't remember none of the names of the dudes he smashed anyway. But then we kind of saw a gesture when, you know, Terrell kind of pulled up. It's like, yeah, these rock hard abs. And then he kind of sits next to Ken, and Ken is like, ugh, get away from me. And I'm like, So I think what Dante said about him, what Dion, I'm sorry. And so it seemed to me what Dion said about that, yeah, he kind of got feelings for Ken is kind of rising to the surface a little bit. So I kind of clocked that, like, boo-boo, his man's sitting right there, and here it is, you trying to throw your abs on the Ken. Like, I see you, sis. Alright. Okay. But then we also see a scene when Terrell was actually working out with Darren and Ken. And the shit was funny because he's like, man, you niggas fucking quitting. We ain't even been working out 20 minutes. And y'all already done? He's like, man, y'all some bum ass niggas. Like, he was just going in. Like, Terrell's funny. Terrell has very high esteem. He definitely has the perfect physique. I mean, I would say out of all of them, you know, Terrell's the Adonis. You know, got the perfect body, perfect physique, and he's all about you know, his sex appeal, and he's all about his image. But he does love his friends. But yeah, that whole scene had me rolling. So when they talking to Vontae, they's like, well, and they asked him about, you know, his whole little thing with Dion. And remember, Terrell don't even know it's Dion because he probably don't remember his name any damn way. But all of a sudden, But I think that shit's gonna come out, you know, about Dion being in between both Vontae and Terrell. That they both are kind of somewhat talking to the same guy, and how he's playing different roles with each of them. Like with Terrell, he's a fuckboy, but with Vontae, he wants to have a relationship, or he's looking for the right one. Yeah. So pretty much they start talking, and Vontae talks about that, you know, he doesn't give it up easy, and you know, I have high standards, and you know, I'm just not gonna let just any man, you know, come up inside me or whatever. And they said that, well, how long would you make a guy wait before you have sex with him? He said 4 months. They went the fuck off. They're like, what, bitch? Like, seriously? I mean, because hey, when in the gay way of life, in the gay way of love, it's a totally different set of rules than it is with the straight relationship. So I get it to some degree, but then again, I understand where Vontae stands, that he's not just gonna be screwing everybody around. But he said that, man, when's the last time you had some? And Vontae was like, it's been a long time for me. He was like, you know what? We're going to break this. You know, we need, like, how the heck you going to get this man if you got cobwebs in your pussy, boo-boo? So we're going to take you to the Mosey Wosey. And I'm like, what the hell is the Mosey Wosey? Turns out the Mosey Wosey is this underground sex club, or like a sex party. We've been to sex parties. So if you've been to a sex party, you kind of know how it is. So pretty much they all decide, you know, Terrell, Andre, and Vontae decide they're going to go to the Mosey Wosey. They actually go. You know, Vontae is very hesitant, but Terrell and Andre are hesitant. Like, look, you need to get in here. You need to get you some. And Terrell's like, since I'm driving, you can't leave, so your ass is going. So they go in, and then like 4 hours later, they come out in their underwear and everything, because usually that's what you do. You undress and you kind of work the room and see if you got somebody you want to get into, literally. So pretty much we've come to find out they was at that place for 4 damn hours. Vontae didn't have sex with nobody. But we definitely tell that Andre and Terrell them messed around and possibly messed around with each other, because I definitely think that they, you know, messed around a time here and there. You know, I mean, hey, Andre's sexy. What can you say? But as again, Andre is the most insecure out of the boys. So, but then again, they was kind of clowning them a little bit, like, yo, you mean to tell me your ass been here this whole time and you ain't letting nobody get that? And he's like, no, I'm not letting anybody get this. And they were just kind of blown away, like, you literally went to a sex party and you still didn't fuck. So that was crazy. But that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. But subscribe to Trey. I think it's Trey Online 21. But I'm actually gonna have the YouTube link in the description box, where you can actually subscribe and you actually start watching this series. You know, definitely support them, because this is a really good series. It's hilarious. It's great content, great writing, great production, and a great cast. And they're doing phenomenal work. So definitely, I'm going to have the link in the description box where you can actually subscribe to their YouTube channel and start watching this show. Also, subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back with the next episode of Love, Sex, and Marriage. So until next time, everybody, take care.